Hello, this is Tien Bui at The Journey, the podcast from start to success. And I have an amazing individual here. Instead of me introducing him to you guys, I want him to talk about himself and introduce himself. Go ahead.
All right, so my name's Kevin Duncan, for those of you that I've never met before. My wife, Rose, and I, we've been part of Ambit for 13 years now. I still remember the day that we started. Prior to that, I used to own a software development company. We've got 5 kids, count 5, from the same guy on purpose.
That's a good one.
And, listen, our kids are everything to us, but Ambit has absolutely changed our life.
Amazing. Kevin, your journey in this whole entrepreneurial life has been an amazing journey. It has ups and downs. A lot of people want they find this new thing on TikTok, Facebook Reels about starting this company, that company, being an entrepreneur. What can you tell me about your journey, and what would you advise them before they go into this new entrepreneurial world? What was the best advice for them? Because you've done it, Kevin. You've done it.
Right. So for me, I everything that I do, I look at it like a business. Right. Network marketing is a business. My wife, on the other hand, she's all about the excitement. But when we first looked at this, I looked at the owners, I looked at the company, I looked at the compensation plan, and I decided, is this worth the investment? And the investment of time, right? The money is a pretty small investment, but you're talking about your time. Any business that you start, you're going to have a significant amount of effort to get it up and going. And after all my research, I said, this is it. Why not? It's electricity, it's natural gas, everybody uses it. The comp plan basically was unlimited. So you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So the investment to me was worth the effort. And if you look at our past, we've had our ups and downs, but that's everywhere in business. But, what we've accomplished over the years, we couldn't have done in a traditional business. There's just absolutely no way.
I want to start an online business, a little side gig. What's the advice you want to tell me on, man, get ready for X, Y, and Z? What would that be?
Wow. Okay. Well, really, the toughest thing is you just have to believe whatever it is. You just have to believe that you can succeed in it. You've got to find someone more successful than you, and that's one of the big things for an accountability partner, to tell you and coach you along the way, because there's a lot of valleys where you're going to hit and realize that, or you're going to second guess yourself. Any decision like that, but you have to get ready for the ups and downs. But more importantly, you've got to get ready for your success. You've got to see yourself be successful at that business, because if you don't, you're never going to make it.
Look at that. Some people think just in general, when they have a business, everything's glamorous. In my world, and in your world too, as an entrepreneur, they want to see like the flashy houses, the cars, the trips, the bling bling. And that's not reality, by the way. You and I have experienced that. And can you tell me more of your journey on that? What kept you grounded throughout your journey? It's not the bling, but what kept you pushing forward when other people quit?
Well, the big thing, honestly, was, if I think back to when we first started, the biggest challenge that we had was the belief part of it. Believing in the company, believing in that they would actually pay us what they said they would pay us, believing in the leaders, but more importantly, believing that we could have at least some of that success.
Like believe in yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
We could get a better car or a better house or live a better life. That was the biggest challenge for us. But what's kept us grounded is we never forgot where we came from. Right. Rose and I, we've been married to be 31 years this October.
31. That's...
And, right. And it only seems like it's been 6 months.
Yeah.
So, she still digs me. I still love her. It's amazing. But, we never forgot where we came from. Back when we first got married, we lived in a 1-bedroom, furnished Navy apartment. And we never forgot, our roots. We choose to stay down to earth because, again, it comes back to belief. People have to believe that they can follow you and achieve what you've achieved. And if you're driving, $100,000 car and living in a $2 million house, and that's not where they came from, they can't see themselves there. They want to be there, but ultimately they can't see themselves there. So if you just be yourself, don't try to be somebody else. People are going to follow you, and your team's going to grow because they're following you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my belief. Yeah,
That's
they're not
great.
following the dream; they're following you.
Amen. Amen to that. All starts with you. And let's get to the nitty-gritty dark side of being an entrepreneur. I think it's important that, for you and I to share this with everyone. Tell me more about the difficulties. Like, give me your darkest, most challenge, the most difficult challenge you experience as an entrepreneur, and describe it to me too. I think it'd be good for me to know.
Yeah. So, I've been part of multiple businesses. I've owned a software company, and several other companies, a hardware company. But to be honest with you, this company has been the most challenging because you're not really exchanging anything for the money that you receive, right? So it's really, you're dealing more with people than with products. And when you're dealing with people, it's very emotional. And that's the toughest part about this business is when your business is doing great, you're riding this emotional high. But when your business, goes this way because of Hurricane Harvey or COVID or, anything else, when your business is sliding backwards, it's that emotional journey that's the toughest part. And as long as you've got accountability partners and really a good life partner that's cheered you along the way and say, no, this is temporary. We've, it's peaks and valleys. As long as you realize that, then you can get through it. What I see most people do is when they're riding high and they start to see it slide off and go into that valley, they just think, this wasn't it. This wasn't the thing that I was supposed to do, in life. And you got to realize this business is going to be here for long after we're gone.
Yes.
And that's what we keep focusing on. The thing that keeps us going is our kids. We look at them and we know we made the right decision and we get past that emotional low. and COVID was one of them. It was tough. But now we see it going back up and we're like, this is why we're here, just to help people.
Yeah, you talked about your why just now. Tell me more. Tell me more about your why. I think it's just a great driving factor.
Yeah.
And I can see it, and I would love to know more about that.
It is Rose jokes all the time. The one thing that I get emotional talking about is my kids. So the emotional valleys that I told you about. So every time we thought about, I don't really feel like working AMP today, or I think I'm going to take the weekend off. The kids are what kept us going because, really at the end of the day, this isn't for us, right? Ambit's not, what we're making and what we're trying to build up is for them. We had a choice back when we started. It was, either I leave my kids a life insurance policy and then hope that $2 million is enough for them to do something with and live on, or we literally leave them a legacy, which is this business. Doesn't matter whether they even know what Ambit is, whether they know how to put a customer in, the money that we make and it's going to continue to be made goes to that. So that's every time we question ourselves or we question the business or we don't feel like working, just all we got to do is walk around the corner and look downstairs, right? And see them sitting there. And it's like, okay, right, I'm going to make another phone call. I'm going to go to another meeting, right? I'm going to push forward and do another training. Whatever it is, we're going to push the business forward. And that's, over the last 13 years, that's our single biggest driving factor. You say your why changes. That why has never changed. And it never will because now we have a grandkid. Right, so now it's now we got to leave more money.
Oh, look at that! Well, hey, give me a hug, man. I just wanted to still.
I told you that's the kids, man. They choke me up. The kids choke me up.
Oh, and they should. It's a big driving factor for that. And freedom. Let's talk about freedom. I want to know more about your definition of freedom. Why time freedom is important, and the things. Once you achieve success, what do you want out of it? What do you see your definition of success be with regards to freedom?
Well, I think it boils down really to just being able to live life on your own terms, right? Because back pre-Ambit, I thought the way to freedom was own your own company. right? Go start a company. You own everything. You control everything. But I found out pretty quickly that I think I was actually working more when I owned my company than I was working for someone else. The stress level was higher because I couldn't just put in just enough work to get paid. I literally had to make sure the company stayed on track. And those valleys that we talked about, those hit you harder because there was years where I paid the employees, I paid the bills, and there was nothing left to pay me. And that was a really tough time in our life. And with Ambit, we've been able to get that time freedom. We've been able to go to our son's events, where with our previous 4 kids, it was hit and miss. It was who can go. Now the teachers are like, wait, you're both going to be here?
That's surprising.
Right? You're both coming, and that's the time freedom. It's to live life on your own terms, to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And that's been the blessing to us. Our youngest kid has never seen the inside of a daycare. So that's huge, is to be able to stay home and actually raise our kids. And that's, to me, that's time freedom, right? The vacations and things like that, that's, I call it, that's Rose and I's reward for our hard work. But it's again, it's more about our family and showing people, in our circles that we're really home. We don't have a job. Ambit has really done this for us. And it can do it for you too. And that's the belief. Once you can give the belief to someone, the sky's the limit.
You realize you're living a life of millions of people want to have your life, and they don't have it because they're not willing to put in the work, in my opinion. And just, you see that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you wake up every day and realize it. It's just like, wow, I'm so blessed that Rose was in the right place, the right time. But then, we got together and said, okay, let's do this. And we haven't looked back since. Have we doubted ourselves? Yes.
Yeah, that's it. New experience.
Yeah, have we doubted ourselves? Yeah, but we're blessed that we've never looked back, and we keep on pushing forward. And again, 13 years later, I'm more excited now about this business than literally I ever have been, and the possibilities.
Why? It's just, I know you're excited, but there's something to trigger that great emotion that smiles like brighter now.
Oh yeah.
Why? Tell me.
It really has to do with the announcements that they just came out with. A lot of people doubted whether Vistra purchasing us was a good idea, and that's one thing I never doubted. I was like, "Are you kidding me? A generation company purchasing the largest reseller of energy in the entire world is the best thing that could ever happen to us." And this September, there's an excitement in Ambit now that I haven't seen in years. And it starts at the top. If we're excited, the people we're talking to is excited, and the people they're talking to are going to be excited. So it's all driven that way. And the announcements that they made, I can't even sleep at night.
Oh.
Because the possibilities are much bigger than they were.
Yes. It's just the opportunity is just mega, in my opinion. It kind of trumps all the other opportunities we've had before. High school, this is PhD. This is, we skip masters all the way up to doctorate part. And that I know this one section I want to talk to you about, because there's something I can never describe. This is the Thompson Leadership Award. And the Thompson Leadership Award, let me just say what it is. It's the highest award that could be given to a consultant. And in 13 years, Ambit, there's been only 13 awards ever given. It's truly, it's like the Super Bowl of awards. And just to achieve it, there has to be so much leadership, so much dedication, so much. Of course, I don't have the opportunity or the grace. You have. And my question is, describe to me the feeling of winning, and what does it mean to you of winning the Thompson Leadership Award? Having Jerry speak to you as well, that's amazing.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotions that day. I mean, I think the biggest one was disbelief, right? It was, we were excited. We were honored to have Jerry Thompson present the award to us, but it was really just kind of disbelief. Is like, listen, all we really did was help a lot of people, and to be recognized for that, we were just in awe. I mean, I just, I didn't know what to say. It was very emotional. That's one of the other few times that that I got emotional, on camera. But it was still, we look at that award every day and we're just like, wow. I can't believe that we were honored in that way, because there is such a small group of people, and every one of them was deserving of that award. But to be among those people, it was just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
And something that will stick with us forever.
Can you describe more of that feeling? When you say emotion, it could be a lot. Yes, pinpoint a little more on that. I think would be great.
Well, I mean, the emotions were, it was, I kind of wanted to just break down and just listen. We're honored, but why us, right? Why out of all the people they could have got this award, why us? And it was just, we were in tears that day. Rose and I were just a mess that day because, because Jerry Thompson, we looked up to him from day one. So to have him specifically come back and award us that, it added that extra, being honored, by him, because of how that award was created or what it actually meant. We just still to this day, I'm like, I can't believe that we were worthy of being among giants, as we say, right? Because the people that won these awards, it was just their what they've accomplished in Ambit. We've accomplished a lot.
Oh, I don't know. A ton. I'm definitely inspired by everything you've done too.
Yeah, but it was just very heartfelt, right? It really hit us hard when they announced our names and said, Kevin and Rose Duncan, Thompson Leadership Award winner. We get our picture on the wall at the office, and it never ends. I mean, it's still, I walk into the office and I see that, and it just, who's next?
Yes.
There's so many deserving people of the award.
Oh my goodness. The structure of the company, being national consultant is considered like the Everest. You've made, and on top of that, you actually stood tall as a yellow jacket. You made over $1 million in this company. I guess the question here, what's next for Kevin Duncan? What's next for you? What do you see in the future, for yourself and for the company?
Well, man, have I got my eye on that purple jacket? That's for sure. I'm already picking out clothes for that. But really, it's the neat part about this company is your reward is the number of people that you help, right? So I always stand up and say, listen, the yellow jacket to me doesn't really reflect what we've made. It reflects how many people we've helped. And the more people you help, the more money you'll make, but that's the byproduct.
That's perspective.
And that's every day when we get up, that's what we ask ourselves. Who are we going to help today? Who are we going to help get in the business? Who are we going to help promote in the business? Who am I going to help make some extra money in this business? And now more than ever, Ambit's made it easier. And that's the excitement that's kind of showing through us is, all you have to do now is get in and do something, and then you're going to earn an income in this business. And that's what's going to drive more people to the yellow, more people to the purple. But our focus is on the purple, and the only way we can do that is to help a bunch of people get to RC, SC, EC, NC, and even get to the jacket. And we can't wait to see what the next few years is going to hold in this business.
Yes, and in quotation, what is the purple? What is that?
Purple, that's $5 million.
$5 million. Just say $5 million. Yeah, it rolls off your tongue kind of smoothly on that one. And in order to achieve that, like you mentioned, we have to help all the people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but let them enjoy the residual income. Yeah. And it might not be completely covered, but I think an extra $100, $200, $500 in residual income is a great start for anything.
It is. And one of the neat things about this business is if your focus is on helping everybody, not just your team, not just the people that pay you, but everybody, it all comes back around, right? It doesn't matter. Rose and I, from day one, we don't ask who's in your upline, who did you get sponsored by, who you coded to. We ask them, how can we help you? Mm-hmm. And that's what's led us to where we're at. And if everybody does that, could you imagine, right? Ambit is one big team, and if everybody worked that way, Ambit's already unstoppable.
Yes.
I mean, we would truly be, far and above the best company to work for and to work with.
From what I saw, it was over $1 billion of revenue a year they're bringing in. And that piece of the pie, I think anyone is.
It's hard to imagine. A friend of mine used to say, you don't even need a piece of the pie. You just need the crumbs off of the knife that they use to cut the pie. That would be enough.
Oh, yeah. In finalizing the podcast, any last word of advice, thoughts you could share to me?
Yeah, so, I would say, anybody that's looking at this for the first time, or maybe they've been in for a little while and they're struggling, is, don't do this by yourself. There's always, someone in the business that can help you out. So don't think you have to learn everything. It doesn't matter if they're in their upline, your sideline, or you meet them at a meeting. Just reach out to anybody and ask them for help. And the other thing that I would say is, the investment is worth the result, right? It's anytime you think about quitting, right? Find an accountability partner. Find someone who's more successful than you, and ask them, what are you doing? You may not be able to duplicate what they're doing, but if you want to get from point A to where they're at and point B, if you want to be a millionaire, go find a millionaire and ask them how they got there. And I guarantee if you find 5 millionaires and ask them how they got there, they're going to tell you almost exactly the same thing.
You'll be the sixth one.
Follow someone more successful. That's my advice. That's what Rose and I did. We didn't realize it, but at our very first ambition, we were building our vision board. We were watching people go across stage and get their yellow jackets and go into the black tie event. And we were like, what do I need to do to get there? Mm-hmm. And that's where everything started for us. I think we were just regional consultants, and we were like, well, if they can do it, why can't we? And we kept our eye on that. And here we are. We're in the black tie event. We're wearing the yellow jacket. We've got an award. So it all started back then, and we just never let go of it. We focused on it.
Yeah, never give up. Kevin, thank you so much for driving up all the way to Houston, even stay with us. And it's truly an honor and a pleasure.
No, thank you. It's an honor to be here. I love what you do with this. It's a blessing to everybody, and I think it's really going to help expand people's vision of Ambit.
Yes, amen. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Take care.